What's going on, everybody? My name is Cody Armour. We are live on Facebook and on YouTube. So, just so everybody knows, I will probably be looking from screen to screen, trying to interact with both of you at the same time, which, honestly, I'm pretty excited about. So, my name is Cody Armour. For those of you who don't know me, I will try to answer you guys' questions as much as you can. I do YouTube channel stuff at youtube.com/ArmourCody, where I talk about news relevant to Christianity, and also right here on youtube.com/GeeksAndAGrace. Yeah, you see me around on Facebook every once in a while as well, especially here on Mondays. One thing that I should probably note, and you guys can start asking your questions in the comment section below, I'll try to answer them to the best of my ability, is that I will not be here Monday. I think that next Monday, the 10th, October 10th, I believe. That should be next Monday. What is today? Today's the 3rd. Yeah, so next Monday. I'm hoping to get somebody to fill in for me, but I'm just going to take like a full week off of any kind of creation stuff. And just, I get so backed up in work because I'm creating so much content all the time, and I know it probably doesn't seem like it, but it's kind of a one-man show as far as the stuff that I do personally. My YouTube video, all the YouTube videos that I make, all the live stuff, all of that kind of stuff is from me. Obviously, we have a team of like 60 volunteers. I always talk about them consistently and constantly, and they're all doing their own thing. Like there's so much content being made for Geeks and Grace as a whole. But, you know, as far as the content that I'm making personally that you see my face on, I'm usually doing that by myself. So anyways, what happens with that is I'm making so much stuff that it kind of gets a little hectic, and I need to like take a break, take a week, and just kind of get everything planned out. We have the pledge drive coming up. Not coming up, it's way down the road, but we planned it almost. It's going to be almost 6 months in advance, I think. Don't hold me to that. I'm not going to tell you guys the months because I don't know what's going on yet with it. Like I said, it's just in the pre-planning stages, but having a week to kind of do that really, really helps me out to kind of just look at what the next 6 months are going to look like. Let's see. It says, "Hey, Cody from JFS87. Do you like mayonnaise? I love mayonnaise. Sriracha mayo is my favorite." Sriracha mayo is so delicious. It's awesome. Hi, Cody. Happy Monday. How's it going, Becca? How are ya? Allison Heron says, "Hey, Cody, what game are you looking forward to releasing?" For me, I mean, I feel like everyone's super stoked about Zelda Breath of the Wild. And that's for me is like my thing. So I'm very, very excited for Breath of the Wild. Hopefully it holds up. I'm trying to think of, because that's it almost seems generic. Like Nintendo is obviously going to make good games. That's the sad reality that we live in. They don't make good consoles, but they make good games. So Zelda's a big one. Trying to think of something a little more encompassing. That's really it. That's the big game that I'm like, I gotta play as soon as possible. Yeah, Breath of the Wild. That's gonna be my big one. I kind of want to play Zero Dawn. Horizon Zero Dawn look kind of cool, but I don't know if that's something that I'll actually get or not. Great. I'm glad you're doing well. Yeah. I don't know who we're gonna have next Monday, if we'll have anyone at all. For the YouTube people, it will definitely not be on YouTube. It will be on Facebook.com/GeeksAndAGrace. So we will be missing almost a full week of content here on the YouTube channel. So everybody on Facebook, you guys will hopefully get a live video next Monday with somebody. As far as YouTube goes, it'll just be kind of quiet for a week. Yeah, cool. So feel free to ask me anything you guys want. It can literally be anything. I'm like looking through different stuff here. Sorry. So what's the live stream about? Pop the Weasel, I love your name, first of all. Anything that you want to ask about faith, I should probably put this kind of in the description or something. I'm supposed to be having, like, themes. But faith, geekery, especially geekery, because I'm way better with answering questions about geekery than I am about faith. I'm definitely not a theologian, and so, I have my own opinions, but I feel like there's better places to get your theology from than me. And then, Geeks Under Grace as a whole. What are we about? What are we doing? If you have any questions or, like, you want something to happen, or why aren't you doing this? Then we will, we talk about that and kind of try to explain that to you guys the best that we can. And this is why I would only stream on one website at a time. I was thinking about this. So I started with Facebook Live. And we were doing Facebook Live. We've been doing that for a few months. It just seems like, if I want to be doing live video, I might as well be doing it 2 different places. I can pull from more audience for one. And I get to it's more interaction for me, which I really love. I like being able to interact with everybody. I know that looking at 2 different screens kind of bugs people, but it's not so detrimental, I don't think, that I need to stay away from it. It doesn't seem to be hurting the Facebook Live crowd, and so as long as that's happening, I'm glad, because this YouTube Live thing wasn't happening before I was doing the Facebook Live. Do you consider mayonnaise to be an instrument? I do not. Chris Pratt tells a Christian not to cuss, yet uses many curse words. Hey, Scott. Curse words in movies. Isn't that hypocritical? I'm going to go with what Vic Mignogna said here. And Vic Mignogna, for those of you who don't know, is an anime voice actor. And he says that, he looks at characters who aren't Christian. And I know we're saying just cussing, but just in general, he plays a lot of characters that are not Christian. Chris Pratt does the same. Not all of his characters are Christians. They don't live the same way that he does. And so, yeah, he's going to be cursing in his movies, but that is to give an honest portrayal. It's not like he is cursing to curse. It's because he is playing a character. Think about how different media would be if all the Christians in Hollywood, which I know they're not a lot, but first of all, they probably wouldn't get jobs, right? And they wouldn't be able to make art in general. But they aren't portraying themselves, and so because of that, I don't think that it's hypocritical to say, hey man, don't start cussing at me like this, because he was saying, don't talk down to others, which is in the Bible. Do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouth. Unwholesome meaning to, like, is it lifting people up, or are you turning people? Because I think of unwholesome talk, I don't think that's just curse words. I think that's anything negative that you say. And so when he's playing in these movies, he's not really cursing because he's actually angry at someone, or he's actually, it's for the part. And so I think when you look at it that way, it's not bad. It's the same as anyone, like Chris Pratt isn't actually killing people, but his characters do. And for him to be able to portray and to be an actor, he has to be able to act those things out. Scott, how's it going? It's important to remember that a big reason cursing is generally a sin is because of the heart, motivation, and condition. Very important. Two screens is like talking to two people. No big deal. My only worry with the fact that I can't... I'm less worried about the fact that I can't look at both screens at the same time. I'm much more worried. And I could probably fix this a little bit. If I got the Facebook camera maybe right behind this one, it would be a little bit better. And then it would just be looking up a little bit. What I really don't like is that you guys can't see the YouTube chat. And you guys can't see the Facebook chat. That's what bothers me the most, because I want everybody to be able to talk to each other. But it is what it is. What is your favorite color? My favorite color would be purple. It was actually lime green. I don't know. I don't think I have anything in here that color. Oh no, it's my chair. Duh. Yeah. This used to be my favorite color, and I don't know how this happened, but when I was doing YouTube videos, I didn't use green because I was worried that people would green screen me. And people could do that with a purple wall too, but it's obviously way easier, comes to mind when you see a green screen. And it also kind of makes people think that as well. The looks almost unproduced when you're in front of something that's, a lime green. And so I went with purple. And it was just kind of, I like purple, and slowly turned into this weird trademark thing. But now it kind of is symbiotic, because as that grows and like people recognize the purple, I've also grown to really love purple as well. So that's my favorite color. I still really like this, but I legitimately don't like the neon green as much as I do purple anymore for some reason. Happy FMA Day 10/3/11. That's sad. That's super sad. How often is too often to eat Chick-fil-A? I mean, it depends on what you're eating. I know the answer to this. The answer, how often is too often to eat a Chick-fil-A, would be 7 days a week. That's my answer. Because if you're eating it 7 days a week, you have bought something on Saturday and are eating it Sunday. And that's weird. Like, it's not weird in general, but the fact that you would do that so that you could have more Chick-fil-A is strange. At Geeks Small Group, we recently had a discussion on the gifts of the Spirit and the XMen. What would you have contributed to that topic? Wow. I mean, I would definitely need to have more thought into it. I think that's a really cool topic. I mean, the gifts of the Spirit are very specific things, if I'm correct. Yeah. Healing, miracles, prophecy. Yeah. I'm trying to remember. I don't know. That would be really interesting. I wish I could have sat in on the conversation. I think that I could add a lot more if I were to do that. If the question is, do we look at the mutations that the X-Men have? Would we look at those as gifts? I would say yes. But I would also say that you have a decision on how you're going to use them. And I think the conversation would stem from there. An X-Men Bible study, could you imagine if there was a Bible class or a Bible club in the X-Men school, Xavier's school? I think that would be a huge conversation for them. Are these gifts from God, or are they a curse that I have to live with? Are they a punishment from God? And I think the answer would be that they are gifts. But that would be... I'd love to sit in on your conversation for sure, but I'd also love to sit on that fictional conversation as well, and get to see these mutated people kind of work through what is God's plan here with me being able to explode and then regenerate or teleport, or these lasers that keep coming out of my eyes and killing everything. Yeah, I like that question. Good. 6 days is free. I just don't work Sunday. 6 days. I'm confused, but okay. Tracy, no, I really, really like that question. Ooh, we have stuff here. How long is the stream going? Scott, the bass player, the stream usually goes for about half hour. We have been streaming for 15 minutes now. So another 15 minutes or so, and we will get out. Sometimes I go a little bit late, depending on how deep the conversations get. If it's stuff that I feel like I need to get answered, then we'll go a little bit longer. I don't really like Chick-fil-A. I just don't like the chicken that much. More of a beef guy myself. Yeah, I love beef. I could be a vegetarian if I didn't have to give up beef. If I could be a beefitarian, I could do it. I don't want to do that. In fact, I'm going to be eating chicken. I think tomorrow I'm making something. I'm baking some chicken. But if I had to, I could give it up. Can't give up beef. Beef is just too good. I I'll eat orange chicken from Panda Express any day. Homemade orange chicken is so... I love cooking. Cooking's so nice. I work 6 days at Chick-fil-A, so I get sick of the food pretty quickly. Fair. Okay, now I understand. That's coming from the one who asked me. Steven, who asked me how much Chick-fil-A is too much Chick-fil-A. Tracy, our next one will be lessons we can take away from the Lego movie. That is awesome. Tracy, I'll try to think. I don't want to jump the gun. I'm really bad at jumping the gun here. We are working on a curriculum, a Geeks Under Grace, a Bible study, devotional thing that my idea would be that a small group could get and then they could use to have Bible study with. If you would be interested in helping with that, you seem to have some very cool ideas. You'd have to kind of be a little bit of an author, though, and I don't know if I'm actually allowed to offer you that, to do that. But if you message us, and I could talk to you a little bit more about that one-on-one, and then I could see what I could do with my team if you'd be interested. You don't have to be. But yeah, that would be cool. Going down the line on YouTube. What are some of your favorite theologians and or Christian groups online? One of my favorite theologians ever so far has been, so there's two that are at Red Rocks Young Adults that have been great. Doug Weckenman and Connor Grimm, and Jesse Davis. She's great too. That whole team. Connor Grimm, it really gets to me all the time. Everything that he says, like, I start to look at things in a new light. So I really like that. But online, I always end up looking at, like, I'm always looking for different pastors to watch online, and you always have to be careful because the big ones are always like these mega church pastors. But Francis Chan, anytime I listen to Francis Chan, is amazing. So Francis Chan would probably be one of my biggest. What is your opinion of... Oh, also, Bando. I should say hi. Hello, Bando 2000. What is your opinion of Luke Cage series? So far, I have really liked it. I feel very uncultured. There's a lot of references to, Black history that I don't get, and that makes me sad. I really wish that I was a little more in tune culturally. That happens. You get yourself in your own little bubble, and you don't realize the stuff that's happening outside of your own little world. But so I think that's been good. The acting is strange because I feel like it's very... It seems acted, but it seems deliberately acted. Like, a lot of the scenes are very almost overly dramatic, and I know they called it a hip-hop western, and I think that's the western seeping through it. The way that they set the scenes up seem almost like watching like a play or something. Like, you can tell that they're acting, but it almost seems like it's supposed to be like that because they're telling the story. And I think that also has to do with so much happening. And these last few episodes I've been watching haven't been as strongly like that. The first three were very much... they're so story-driven that I think the way that they had to portray the story was almost to just tell the story. So that's it's been really interesting. Overall, though, I've loved it. I think it's a great show. Same, straight up there with Daredevil and Jessica Jones. I'd like to talk more about fans with. I used to be with Fans for Christ, and that has been something I wanted to do since then. We'll reach out. Awesome, Tracy. I see some of those I haven't seen before. I'll check them out. So far, I like James White and John Piper a lot. Yeah, Scott. So they're pretty low time. Like, it's weird because it's a mega church, but they're the young adults pastors of the mega church. Connor Grimm, Jesse Davis, and Doug Weckerman. You can find all of them if you look up Red Rocks Young Adults on YouTube. And I like GUG too. Good. Awesome. All right, well, comments are slowing down a little bit. Feel free to keep asking questions, but I will also remind everybody. Before I remind everyone, I have to bring this up. Now that I have kind of everyone in here, tonight we will have, in like a couple hours, we'll be uploading a video for an unboxing of an NES controller. But it's not just an NES controller. It's so weird. It's one of those where you can hook it up to your NES or you can hook it up USB to your computer. But it is like an Xbox controller. It's got two thumbsticks. It has a D-pad. It has L1, R1, L1 and L2 or whatever you say, 1 and 2 triggers. And then it has just the two buttons, A and B, for your NES. But it's strange because, like, you have L3 and R3 on your thumbsticks that play A and B on the NES, or, you know, left trigger and right trigger are A and B on the NES as well. So it's like a ton of redundancy, which I think is interesting. But it's really, really cool way of looking at it. I think it's going to be very comfortable. I kind of want one for my own NES because I love Nintendo. So we're doing an unboxing for that. And then I can't remember what the other unboxing is. Let me go look at it real quick. But we will be doing that. I think tomorrow it'll be coming up. We have a couple of different unboxing videos. And this one, I believe, is more for a kind of like a loot crate type thing. I'm trying to find the name for it right now. Bambox unboxing. So that'll be coming up tomorrow. I'm pretty stoked about both of those. Any bronies in the GUG club? Yeah, MLP's geek thing, you know, I can tell you about it. Anthros, I know that the Facebook Geeks Under Grace community, there are some bronies there for sure. So if you look up Geeks Under Grace community on Facebook, it's a forum. So we have the page and we have a group. It would be the group. And they definitely have a few bronies in there. Jordan, hello. Going down the line, would you consider making subgroups on Facebook targeted at specific audiences? I love anime, but I know many don't care about it. What if we started an Otaku Geeks Under Grace page? So, my big thing has been kind of the opposite way of, like, we are the Christian geeks, and so I think that really subs us out the way it is. We already are kind of separated from the majority. I'm not completely against the idea of doing just an Otaku Geeks Under Grace, but I know, like, if you get in the community group and you bring up that you like anime, you're gonna find other people who like anime as well. Maybe I should try to talk into leadership and try to figure out how we can connect people who like the same stuff a little bit more. But the way that I look at it is we're already, like I said, already kind of subbed out. And since we're already subbed out, I'm hesitant personally to sub us out any more than we already are. Go back to the whole cursing thing. On the other hand, would it be a sin for an actor to say God's name in vain? Or would that be considered not be considered legitimately taking his name in vain? I really, really appreciate when an actor says gosh instead of God. You get that a lot on TV. And I think that more has to do with the writing than anything. But I would still lean on the side of, you know, they're not actually murdering people. They're not actually, doing these sinful things. They're portraying a character who does those. But you do have a point that if you are saying the Lord's name in vain, even if you're not saying it as yourself and you're not saying it to say it in vain, that's definitely kind of a gray area, because they are saying it regardless. It's kind of like some people have brought up sex scenes. With sex scenes, like with murdering people, that person's not actually dead, but with a sex scene, that person is actually naked. And I know that there can be body doubles and stuff like that, but you're still seeing somebody that is naked, whereas if you see someone die, you're not actually seeing someone who has been killed. So, like, I mean, there's definitely gray areas in all of that. Do you participate in Force Friday? I wish I could have. I did not participate in Force Friday. Now I'm curious what Force Friday is. I'm assuming it's something to do with Star Wars. Did my comment go through? JFS87, I hope that I answered it. I said that was my whole thing on different subgroups. That's the last comment that I got anyways. Linus Tech reviewed those controllers. I'll be looking forward to the unboxing, definitely. And we will not just be doing the unboxing, we'll also be doing a review, but the unboxing is coming out tonight. And then I think the review is going to take a little bit longer as he gets to play with it a little bit. Joe Morgan is doing everything for that. Finally got Sims 4. Awesome. You're all playing World of Warcraft's new expansion. It's awesome. I do not know, but I should ask around. We might have somebody on staff that is, and we can see if we can get a review of that or not. I don't know if we have any World of Warcraft players. We should. That's definitely one of those things that Geeks Under Grace is like, it's in their wheelhouse, you know? I'll ask around and see. I do not know. I'm sure if you got, like I keep pointing everyone back to the Facebook community. If you get into the community group and you ask people, what have you thought about the World of Warcraft thing, you're going to have a whole community of people. I think it's like 5,000 people. And I know somebody in there has probably played the game. Force Friday is when all the Star Wars merchandise for the new film comes out. Same thing happened last year with The Force Awakens. Oh, okay. I did not know that. No, those G words are derived from God and Jesus. Those aren't cool. I don't blame people for not knowing that, though. Yeah, no, definitely. Like, if you're saying gosh, you're still substituting the word out, and it's having the same meaning to you. But I still would say that it's better than, full out saying the Lord's name in vain. Samuel Watson, hey, what did I miss? Not too much. We've had quite a few discussions. We're talking about cursing in movies, and we're talking about gosh verse God using the Lord's name in vain. And I said that I appreciate when someone says gosh on TV or a movie instead of God. We're trying to figure out whether or not that is sinful for an actor who's portraying a character that is not themselves to use the Lord's name in vain in the character that they are portraying, because that character is saying it, not them. And just talk about the whole gray areas with that and stuff. I think with sex nudity, it causes temptation leading others to sin, but I've never been tempted to use the Lord's name in vain by others' language. Yeah, I mean, and that is what Geeks and Grace is all about, right? We talk about discernment. For some people, I don't think that seeing the sex nudity in it is going to, for some people, isn't going to cause them to lust, and that depends, because a lot of this stuff is kind of geared to make you lust, and in which case most people are going to. But that's everything, right? I mean, you're saying, I've never been tempted to use the Lord's name in vain by hearing someone else do it. But for someone else, it might. I know that I really pick up on the language around the people that I'm, surrounding myself with. I used to work at a sports bar, cursed a lot. No, I don't. And that's like, I'm very adaptable to my surroundings, I guess. And so part of that has definitely been through my speech. So, I mean, that's kind of what I look at with discernment is like, everybody is different. Maybe seeing somebody be extremely violent makes you want to be extremely violent. And even if you say, I would never act on it, if you want to become extremely violent because of what you're watching, then that is just as bad. I think it's wrong. Acting is too close to real life, because most people act in real life just around friends. In a way, of course. Yeah, I mean, I think the way that you act around your friends being different than your real self is definitely different, though, than portraying a character in a piece of art. I always say art reflects the world around us. A lot of people will argue that we reflect our art, but I think it's very obvious that culture, art is a very reflective source of our culture. If you look at art, you will know what our world is doing right now. You look at sci-fi movies, and you get to see, the things that we're working on, what we think the future is going to be. You look at, I'm trying to think of good ones, but things that take place in modern day, and you'll realize, even if they're abstract, they're still reflecting the world very strongly. I'm here. How's it going, Max Tatum? Does anyone play claw or only hold your controller? Traditionally, I definitely do not. I'm trying to think of what claw is. I know that I had a friend who would play with the controller upside down, and I never understood that. He started with that with the N64 controller, and I can't understand that one whatsoever. Good points, Cody. Wouldn't it still be a sin, though, to watch real sin on screen, sex scenes specifically? Yeah, so I mean, you got to look at why you're watching it. If you're watching a sex scene because of lustful reasons, then yeah. Like, if that's in your head making you go, wow, that is fantastic, then yeah, you're sinning. But if you're seeing that and it's not fazing you and that's not the point of the story, and you understand that, like, this is real life, this is pushing the story forward, then okay. If it's not affecting you, like I said, I'm very affected by the speech around me, and so other people might be more affected or less affected by certain things in movies or video games or anything in art. I think it starts with, I don't think looking at something that's sinful is going to inherently make you sin, but I think the thoughts that gives you, that is where sin starts to take place. And it's not when you act on those things, but when you start thinking about them. And so it's really kind of a slippery slope there. You got to look at, what's going through my mind when I see these scenes. Again, I always go to violence because the violence is the one that everyone seems to be okay with. Everything else is terrible and unbiblical, but violence, and a lot of people are like, well, there's violence in the Bible. Yeah, there is, but the stuff you're watching is not biblical violence. And so you got to look at it and you got to say, like, here's the thing. If you were to say, yes, you can't watch anything sinful as a Christian, then where do you make that line? Is it when something is rated R and so it's super vulgar, or is it PG-13 where it's just a little bit vulgar, or is it PG or G where they've made the violence comical? And even if they've made it comical and light, you're still going to be affected by it. You know what I mean? There's no way to draw the line there if you do that. If you believe that you can't watch anything that has good and bad in it, then you can't watch anything at all. Why wouldn't you just turn your head? You can totally turn your head. I think that's a very responsible thing for you to do. If you don't have that in your head, why chance at getting there? Just being honest. I mean, that's a great question, but I think that you need to, that's the whole thing. Like, if you are worried about it being a chance of getting in your head, because you don't know yourself, you don't know your disciplines, it's very realistic for you as a Christian. Yes, if you want to not watch anything ever at all, you're totally free to do that. I think that is very disciplined of you. It's a very responsible of you. And I think that's great if you have that kind of control to just not watch anything. Do that. I mean, less than watch willingly. Like, watching porn is sinful. It seems to me that watching Game of Thrones, for example, with the sex scenes, basically porn, is sin too. Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you were watching Game of Thrones because you want to see naked people, that would be sinful. Gotta go. Got school to do. Nice seeing you all. See ya, Jordan. Nice. Thanks for coming in. I go traditional, talk about controllers. We're having 2 different conversations. No worries. I think it goes both ways. Cool. So I hope I answered that well enough. Like, I'm going to try to kind of reiterate everything. If you don't want to watch anything, if you think that the best thing for your spiritual well-being is to completely close yourself off of all media, then you are definitely free to do that. And I wouldn't judge you anyway. I would actually really admire you for doing that. But I will say that, not being a legalist, I think that it is okay to watch these things depending on where your mind's at. Again, porn is a totally different story because porn, and what do you define as porn is a question. But you're watching porn because you want to see that stuff happen. Someone who's watching Game of Thrones, who is a Christian, who is doing, Christianity well, they are not watching Game of Thrones for the sex scenes. They're watching it for entertainment values that are not lustful, that do not make them lust for sin in general. They're not watching it because it releases them into a violent realm because they like seeing people dead. They're watching it because they want to know what's going to happen next in a story. And so you kind of have to, like I said, you have to watch yourself. I personally, if a Christian wants to watch that show, they should definitely look up VidAngel to watch it without nudity. That's my opinion, though. If you can watch Game of Thrones on VidAngel, that's awesome. That is a great idea. Is there a second chat? And you're 100% right, dude. Yeah, there are 2 chats. So we're on Facebook.com and Facebook.com/GeeksAndGrace and YouTube.com/GeeksAndGrace. If I closed myself off from all entertainment, I would be very depressed. Yes, me too. Me as well, Max. I think it's very interesting because playing an antagonist in a performance doesn't mean you murder anyone or anything like that. Exactly. Oh, actually, I'm not certain if it is. Well, Scott, if it is, that would be great. That would be a wonderful thing for VidAngel to do, just for Christian's sake. I know VidAngel is much more for kids, and so a parent can go through. For those who don't know what VidAngel is, you can go and censor just about any movie so your kids can watch it. So that really bugs me about Christianity is that we do that. We're like, let's make it family friendly. And they don't think of like the Christian who is just trying to be a good Christian, going in and being like, I don't want to see this stuff, so let's get it out of there. But that would be really cool if Game of Thrones had a VidAngel setup. Games like God of War come to mind too. Yeah, definitely. So like I said, I'm going to go with this overall, and then I'm going to end the show. Hey, Cody. Hey, Nicole. We're just about to end it. I'm sorry. But I just want to kind of go over like Geeks and Grace's, thoughts on discernment here as a whole. This is the way that the entire nonprofit works, and that is that art is not inherently evil. It's going to reflect the world, and the world has good things and it has bad things. And so because the world has good things and bad things, the art is going to as well. So we believe that we should let everyone be aware of the content, and that's what we do on our Geeks and Grace website, is we'll review as many things as we can, and we give you guys a content guide, and we say, hey, if any kind of this kind of content bothers you, if you feel convicted against it, then know that it's there, and then know that you probably shouldn't watch it, or play it, or what have you. And then we let the people decide for themselves what is going to make you sin. And if you feel convicted to not do something, then you shouldn't do it. And so someone who wants to completely cut themselves off from entertainment because they don't feel that they have the self-control to do anything but do that, like I said, I admire you for your strength in doing so. But that's where we're going to end today. I hope that I answered you guys' questions the best that I could. Well, I definitely answered the best that I could, but I hope I answered them in a way that, everyone feels like they've gotten a good answer out of it. I love you guys. I will not see you next Monday, but like I said, on Facebook, facebook.com/geeksandgrace, we will have some kind of live video. I'm hoping. I'm really, really hoping that happens. Anyways, I think that's it. I'm going to let you guys go now. Remember, check out the YouTube channel in a couple hours, and we will have the unboxing video up that we're very excited about. And then tomorrow as well. All right. YouTube channel is what I mean. God bless, guys. Love ya.